to the losers and haters.
It's going to be a tragic ending for us all.
I want to formally apologize to Sammy. Never count the fan wagon out.
They say leadership starts at home. But where is home for Corey Bushlin? Not here. Born and raised in Canada, he brings foreign values to our American game. He doesn't understand our grit. He doesn't understand the flock, and the results speak for themselves. In his tenure, Bushlin has never, not once, made the playoffs. A loser leading Lions. But his incompetence turns to tyranny. He forces the commissioner's will on free members, crushing dissent to hide his own failures. He went too far, deporting American citizens from the league, silencing freedom of expression, stripping away our rights. Corey Bushlin, a foreign tyrant, a fantasy failure. The Flock League can't afford another season of this.
So it's the next day, and you guys might be wondering where my mental state is at. And you know what? I deserved every ounce of hate that I got in the comments, and boy, was there a lot of it. And it was funny as hell. And I think of all the people in this league, I have brought up the idea of the fantasy gods and the idea of not reverse jinxing and tempting the fantasy gods more than anybody, and yet I fell victim to it. So I think it's hilarious that I lost by 0.92, which will probably be my team name next year for the memes. 0.92, or the number 92, I looked it up. Is there any symbolic nature of that number? Any significance? It means a state of like internal self-reflection, legitimately, if you go look up the significance of the number 92. I'm obviously quite arrogant in this league for someone who has never won shit, who has been a pretty bad fantasy player the entirety of this year. Self-reflection wise and internal self-improvement wise, I think one good thing that came from this season as opposed to last season is I think I made much better trades. I don't think any of the trades really screwed me sideways like the trades I made last year. This year going forward, I'm hoping I make better decisions, especially as it relates to start sits, who to pick up, who to drop, that kind of thing. So we are making some improvements, because even though I know I'm better at fantasy football than what I've displayed in this league. I'm in 16 fantasy leagues. I'm in the playoffs in 12 of them. And of course, this is the one documented on YouTube for hundreds of thousands of people to watch. So I will be better. We will come back stronger. Team Unk, Team 92, Team 0.92. We'll work out the logistics, maybe make some merch for ourselves. Going into next year, I would like to permanently stamp my approval on Mr. Samuel Stacks, because I would love to see a Canadian win this league. Go Canada. Appreciate you, Sammy. And I also would like to put some respect on Thomas's name. Great defense. Thomas, good luck. Sammy, good luck. Devs, good luck. They came through for me when I needed them. So I'll put my support on Sammy, the Devs, and Thomas in the Flock League playoffs.
Round one of the Flock League playoffs are here. And as everybody knows, as the 3 seed in the bracket, I get to choose my matchup between Thomas the editor, the dev team, and Mr. Avery Huffman. This is a very difficult decision. These are 3 very good teams that have won a lot of games this year. Thomas himself beat me in week 2. The devs took me down in week 14. I did get the better of Avery Huffman though. There's a lot to be deliberated here over the next few days, and my pick will be announced at some point in this video, so stay tuned. This is a very, very big day for the fan wagon. Commitment day for our first round matchup in the Flock League playoffs. I just want to thank my family, friends, all those close to me who have been helping me over the past 3 days deliberate this extremely tough decision. Without further ado, in the first round of the Flock League playoffs in 2025, the fan wagon will be taking its talents and facing them up against Thomas the editor. We're coming for you.
Now, Sammy, don't go picking up the dev team hat like you were actually going to sign your own death warrant. We know you're scared, fearful, terrified, of a little daggum turtle.
It is playoff time in the Flock League, and so we're going to break down every winner's bracket matchup, which of course features very little creators because all the creators in this league suck at fantasy football. And we'll also break down the Toilet Bowl matchups featuring, you know, some of the guys from FSC, actually both the guys from FSC, both the guys from Land, and him. Can you wipe your freaking stains off of the Puka Nakua frame, please? Get out of my shot. Let's do this. Let's start with the winners in this league, the only people that are good at fantasy football. I just want it to be known that the development team, my favorite people in this league, by the way, have made the playoffs twice now. Joe made the playoffs last year. Danny has made the playoffs 0 times. Corey has made the playoffs 0 times. Badake has made the playoffs 0 times. Nathan has made the playoffs 0 times. They have made it 2 times over 4 of the creators in this league. And more than Zach, obviously. So, but we'll start with the winner's bracket here. And I think the biggest match of the week undoubtedly is my matchup. Unfortunately for me, I was hoping I would get the 3 seed and I would be able to play Thomas. Thomas is projected about 10 points less than all of the other 3 playoff teams playing in the winner's bracket this week. But in my matchup, it is a very close projected matchup here with some good matchups on both sides from a player standpoint. You know, I'm currently a 3-point underdog, so the Devs are favored by about 3 points. They have some tough matchup. Gibbs against the Rams, but again, it's Gibbs. He's going to do what he's going to do. But you got JSN against the Colts. Oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna get cooked. And so I, on the other hand, have my team fully healthy, clicking at the right time. Hopefully, last week wasn't great. I'll probably go as the Kansas City Chiefs go. And so it's projected to be a very close matchup between myself and the Dev team. The Dev team has been the hottest team in the league for the past probably 4 or 5 weeks. My team has been not as hot, but I haven't had my whole team and they're actually healthy now. I'm going to probably give Terry McLaurin a start. And so this is a big matchup because these are probably the 2nd and 3rd best teams in the league. And one of us is going to go home this week. Lots on the line with the Dev team. And I wish the best of luck to them. I'm telling you, the Dev teams, they're my favorite people in this league. I like every single one of our developers. And I like them more than all of our creators.
If you want to see Stone Cold Turtle whip Avery's ass for the next 2 videos, give me a hell yeah.
And then the other matchup here on the winner's side of the bracket is going to be Sammy Stacks versus our Thomas the Editor. And now, Sammy's 9-5. I don't think his record tells the whole story. I do think his team is decent. I just don't think it has as much firepower as the Dev team or my team. And I think he got a very favorable matchup with Thomas. Now, it does depend on Devon Achane playing against Pittsburgh. He's limited in practice right now. If he doesn't play, that would be a very, very big blow for Sammy, but it does have Jackson Dart against the Washington Commanders this week. He's having to start Chris Godwin on Thursday night. We'll see how that goes tonight. And, you know, Thomas is going to have Amon-Ra St. Brown, but he's starting Marcus Mariota. He's starting Deebo Samuel. He's starting Rico Dowdle. He's starting Mark Andrews at the moment. And so you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I think there's a very clear favorite here. I think Sammy is favored by about 11 points at the moment. And so I think you're probably going to give the nod to Sammy to advance into the next round.
For the 2nd year in a row, I narrowly make the Flock League playoffs from a Monday Night Miracle based on overall points scored. Every single point I got in this league mattered this year. And last year, I was able to pull off a great run to go to the championship. Avery and I are the only 2 teams in this league with winning playoff experience. My team is worse than last year's, though. I just picked up Marcus Mariota, and I guess I'm playing him because it's a good matchup against the Giants. I'm currently not sure who to start between Keenan Allen, Mark Andrews, Ricky Pearsall, or Oronde Gadsden. It was going to be Andrews till I guess he broke his butt today. If I'm going to have a chance, I need Rico Dowdle to return to his Linsanity run numbers. And I am very happy that Sammy chose me as his opponent this week because I do not want to play Avery or their Devs. Kyle Pitts was questionable coming into this game tonight, but no Drake London means I have to play him. If Kyle Pitts outscores Chris Godwin, I think our matchup will be a coin flip.
So matched up against Thomas the Editor in the first round of the playoffs here, and we are looking to reignite some of that Thanksgiving magic that had us take Thomas the Editor down in week 13. And it's going to start tonight on Thursday Night Football with Chris Godwin against Kyle Pitts. We're looking for a Christian Watson, Amon-Ra St. Brown type disparity in the scores here. If you'll recall, Amon-Ra got hurt in that game. Now, I would never wish harm upon Kyle Pitts, but if he wants to put up a goose egg, like we know he is capable of doing, I'll take it. The fan wagon is strong, the fan wagon is mighty, and the fan wagon will be taking down the $10,000 prize.
And so, again, these 2 matchups in the winner's bracket, do keep in mind that there is 1 creator playing this week. 1. So I'm glad I can carry water for all the boys that are down there in the losers bracket. If you guys could get your craft together and make, us as creators look good anytime soon, that would be great. Now, as you know, there is a tough punishment in this league as well that you do not want to have to do when we are in Austin next year, and that's go to Denny's for 24 hours. And given that everybody in the toilet bowl seems to have some kind of restriction dietarily, I don't think any of these guys would be there. Bush just constantly moans and complains about American food. I don't think Zach can eat anything at Denny's. I don't think Nathan can eat anything at Denny's. Badake would probably be out of there pretty quickly. This is going to be peak toilet bowl content this year. And there's only one matchup this week because, as you've seen, since there are 5 creators that made it in the toilet bowl, shout out creators, Zach, Nathan, and Danny do get a bye this week. And so you just have the 2 teams that were closest to making the playoffs, Bush and Badake. They're going to be facing off this week. And of course, Bush does have Bijan Robinson and Meke Ibuka going tonight. As of right now, this is kind of a toss-up. I think Bush has about a 6 or 7 point favorite here. But again, Badake's kind of in the team of destiny here down the stretch. And so who knows? Regardless, I think the funniest outcome here would be if Bush continued to go down the toilet bowl like he did last year. A Bush toilet bowl repeat would be probably the best thing for this league. I think you know it. I think I know it. But regardless, most of the toilet bowl sweating is going to start next week. One of Bush or Badake is going to be safe. We'll see which one it is. But these are 2 teams that have never made the playoffs. And, they're in the toilet bowl for the second straight year. They kind of both know what they're doing. It should be a pretty competitive game. But this week, going to have tons of implications. Winners bracket and losers bracket. We'll see who comes out on the other side.
All right, so week 15 preview. And for me, it's nothing. We're on bye this week. So we're really going to be focusing on 2 things here with Team Sal. Number 1, stay healthy. Please. I mean, somehow Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey have gotten this late into the season without missing a week. Knock on wood. Stay healthy so we can have full strength heading into our final 4, week 16. Again, there is $10,000 to first in this league. Very serious. Okay, so that's number 1. Easily number 1 goal. It's in tier 1. After that, since Thomas got into the postseason, I would consider Thomas a softer playoff team. Now, he's not like terrible by any means. He has Amon-Ra St. Brown. He has his top 2 picks, but there is a reason why he was fighting for that last spot in the final week. And at some point it didn't look like he was in, which, by the way, like, you didn't see my reaction to that. I went to bed at halftime. I didn't have anything to play for. I thought the entire league was already settled like everybody else. Bush not making it. I woke up to 150 messages. Normally there's like maybe 10, 15 if like a trade happens. 150 messages. I was reading through all this. I thought something drastic happened. I thought Danny crashed out again. No. So I don't know how Bush's mental state is. I hope he's doing well at this point. But anyways, yeah, these 6 teams that are in the postseason now, Thomas looks like a week or 6. Now for me, it's just going to come down to scouting this week. Mason's team's on bye. We kind of know what he's going to be dealing with moving forward. And then after that, looking at Sammy versus Thomas. If Thomas was to upset Sammy, it does give me a pretty easy opportunity to choose Thomas in that final 4 if I think that he is a worse team than Mason at that point, depending on what injury and practice reports look like. So I'll be keeping a very close eye specifically on that Sammy and Thomas matchup.
I would like to record this clip as a peace offering to the turtle. Mr. Turtle, if you could not decapitate me and bring me to your island, I would greatly appreciate it. I respect the turtle. Some say that turtle lives matter. I agree with that. And even though you're slow, I do not want your creepy floating thing to bring me to your island. And so I have the utmost respect for the dev team and for the turtle that controls the dev team. And if the turtle could spare me in my life this week, it would be greatly appreciated.
As for Avery, he's yapping about, oh, dev team, go easy on me. Oh, dev team, we're pals. Oh, dev team, If it wasn't for that small child over there, I go into more detail, but we're running straight through Avery and on to round 2. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold Turtle said so.
Now, to nobody's surprise, I have a week off this week, right? Same thing happened last week. It's what happens when you're the best team in the league. It's what happens when you're just frankly better than the other people that you play with, not only in fantasy football, but also in the competition to determine draft order, also just every aspect of life, right? I'm just the best. So it's nothing new to me to have a week off, frankly, and I'm just gonna relax, right? I'm gonna hop on the stationary bike, I'm gonna pedal my legs, I'm gonna eat some good food, I'm gonna drink some good drinks, and honestly, I'm just gonna look forward to Thomas kicking the crap out of the fan, because the fan knows nothing clearly. Like, you think you should be picking Thomas? The guy that edits all my videos to go up against round 1? Buddy, he went to the championship last year after he drafted McCaffrey in the first round. Buddy, he's a part of the Flock Fantasy crew that's 4-0 in this league's history and making it to the playoffs. That's who you're choosing round one? I'd predict Sammy's not going to score 100 points this week after the defense Thomas is going to play. So I'm going to look forward to watching that. Look forward to Thomas beating Sammy. And I'm going to be rooting for Avery. Now, maybe you're wondering, oh, Mason, why are you going to be rooting for Avery? That makes no sense. You hate Avery. And that's exactly why I'm rooting for him. Because I already know that Sal Vetri, who gets to pick his opponent next round, is going to pick whoever wins between the fan and Thomas. So that's going to lead to me playing whoever wins between Avery and the Devs. And I'm not rooting for Avery because I'm scared of the Devs. Frankly, I'm not scared of a turtle. I eat turtle soup like I'm in China. I don't care. But I just want to personally be responsible for ending Avery's season. And if the Devs get to take him out before I get my hands on him, it's going to be a tragic ending for us all.
I think the plan is every single person gives their prediction for the championship in both the regular bracket and the toilet bowl bracket, and then the winner and the loser of each. All right, so my official prediction, I think on the winner's bracket, this is how it's going to go. Round one, we are going to have Thomas beating the fan. We are going to have Avery taking down Devs. Then the following round, we're going to have Sal winning against Thomas. I'm going to beat Avery, Sal Mason championship, and I'm going to win it. And then for the toilet bowl, what I'm going to assume is either Bush or Badake, they are going to be A-okay because they get a chance to win this week. And then they get to pick their matchup in week 16. They'll pick up the weakest team. So I'm thinking the toilet bowl championship is going to come down to Nathan as well as Zach. And I sadly think Nathan, the young bug, will be losing this year.
That's just wishful thinking. He definitely doesn't have the worst team.
No, he doesn't. He should have lost last year if I knew how to pick up a quarterback properly, though.
Okay, in the playoff bracket, it's going to be me as well as I think the Devs win. And then I think Sal's going to pick Mason in round 2. I think he's going to shock everybody. I think he's going to pick Mason. And then I'm going to take down the Devs, obviously. And it's going to be a Sal versus the fan championship. And HN's going to put up a 45 burger in week 17, and the fan's going to take it down. And then in the toilet bowl, I think we're going to get a rematch, Bush versus Nathan. And
I'll be the Kermit the Frog meme in week 17 if I'm at the Denny's, bro. Holy shit.
rematch in the toilet bowl, and I think it's going to go the other way this time, and I think the bug loses.
In the winner's bracket, I'll keep it simple. I am going to choose the fan, and I'm going to choose the Devs to go to the championship. I think the Devs are going to take it. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is just going to continue to do his thing. And in the toilet bowl, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different. I don't know if how possible this is, but I think both Bush and Danny are going to be in the toilet bowl. Which means FSC is going to be guaranteed, unfortunately.
He'd pick me in round 2. That's the only issue.
No, I definitely would not. I would not. I also don't think you have the worst team. I think depending on Zach's injuries, I would probably pick him.
Yeah, Zach did score 200 in the last week of the year.
It's good game planning.
It's hard to root against him. Yeah. But I'm going to root against him to lose the toilet bowl to Danny because they both have buys. And then I'm obviously going to beat Sammy this week. And then Sal is going to be scared of having either Flock Fantasy team in the championship. So I think he's just going to choose me, but he's going to choose wrong. And then I'm going to put up a monster week, and then we're going to have a Mason versus Thomas final, like it always should be.
Oh, gosh.
What an industry plant you are, Thomas.
Yeah, bro. They definitely got on a call out before this. It's like, make sure you choose both of us sometimes.
The look on Sammy's face when he started that had me rolling.
Okay, championship. I honestly feel pretty confident about this. How I envision this playing out, the dev team are going to win in round 1. And then I don't think anybody wants to smoke in round 2. So I think they're going to get the easiest quote-unquote matchup in round 2. They're going to make it to the finals. Their team is just... it's better than anyone's, in my opinion. I think Sal probably makes it by the skin of his teeth because he doesn't want the smoke. And unfortunately, without Daniel Jones, I think we have a dev team championship. In the toilet bowl, how honest do I want to be? Yeah, I'm gonna be in the finals. I think I accepted that fate a long time ago. They say you go through stages of grief. How many stages are there? I've been through them. If there are 5 stages, I'm on stage 6. I mean, I've gone as far as thinking like, Zach, you can't eat anything at Denny's. What the f are you gonna do? I don't know. Can I bring a sleeping bag into Denny's? I have no idea, because I will be there for 24 hours.
We'll shave off 15 minutes for every bear fact you tell an employee there.
But I think it'll be me, and no disrespect to Danny. Danny can only beat me. I mean, I lost to Danny twice this year. Okay, I've contributed to almost 50% of his wins. So I'll probably see him in the toilet bowl, and that will be the week where JJ McCarthy decides to go Super Saiyan, and both Addison and Jefferson put up 30 points. So
I pretty much knew that this was going to be my season here if I got stuck with the dev team. The dev team has been the best team for probably the past 6 weeks. It's going to be tough. So I could pick with my head, but I'm going to pick with my heart. Mason has never won a playoff game in this league. Sal has never won a playoff game in this league. Sammy has never won a playoff game in this league.
I haven't had an opportunity to.
The devs have never won. It doesn't matter. You still haven't. The devs have never won a playoff game in this league. So Thomas has. Thomas, I think you could do it again. I know you've got a proven record, but if I'm picking with my heart, I'm the only one that has this. And I really, really don't want to give it to one of you guys. I'm going to take myself in round 1. I got to pick with my heart. I'm going to go myself. I'm going to take Thomas in round 1 as well. Again, Thomas is the only one that knows how to win a playoff game here. Sal will obviously take Thomas. Sal is... He's a weenie, dude. So I'll play Mason. I do think that's probably going to happen. I predicted it a couple weeks ago. I'm going to beat Mason. Like, it's, I mean, he doesn't win playoff games, dude. So I'll probably end up playing Sal in the championship. And I'm going with my heart. I'm going to repeat, and you guys are going to be miserable, because when I do, I will be the most insufferable person of all time. Believe me. You will hate me so much. More than you do now.
So, like, more than it is right now.
No, I'm saying,
what's the level beyond today?
I will crown myself the best fantasy football player of all time if I win again. The toilet bowl, I'm just going to pick on what I want to happen. And so I'm going to go FSC toilet bowl here. And I want Nathan to stop making the creepy puka clips. So
I appreciate that, Avery, because I don't know if we recall last year, I put my stamp of approval on you. And this year, I'm not going to do it again, but I am going to have you make the championship. Oh. I do think that you take down the dev team in round 1. I do think that Mason and you face off in round 2, because whether it's Sammy or Thomas, I think Sal will pick both of them in round 2. And I do have, unfortunately, I don't know how I'm the only one picking the number 1 seed who's got 300 more points than everybody else in this league, but I do think Sal wins the championship. As far as the toilet bowl, at the risk of sounding even stupider than I've sounded in the last 5 calendar days, I think that it will not be a sweat this week for me. I do think I will get out of it in the first round. And my prediction is that it will be Zach and Nathan in the toilet bowl, with Zach ultimately spending all 24 hours at Denny's if he cannot eat anything there.
I think I'm going to go against the grain here. And nobody's been talking about this guy as a serious threat in basically any of your guys' scenarios. You guys have kind of downplayed the strength of his team. The plot armor exists, man. And plot armor will exist because Mr. Samuel L. Stacks is going on the hero run. Sammy Stacks versus Avery final, with Sammy being the underdog. Sal will pick him in round 2 thinking he is fresh meat, and Devon Achan is going to drop the masterclass. It's going to be Sammy versus Avery. Avery's going to be talking shit. I got the easiest possible playoff matchup for a championship. This is a walk in the park. I can already foresee it now.
Sounds just like me.
It does sound exactly like him. I was going to say.
I think Mason thought you were going to say him.
100% the entire time Mason's going like this.
He was like
no, Mason is going to have exactly as many playoff wins this year as he has as Team FSE. It's going to be 0 across the board.
One of us.
We are talking about the person who has won more games in this league than anybody else.
I don't
Play the tape.
Dallas Cowboys, I don't care.
Means nothing.
I can't wait until Thomas and I both make it to the championship. And then I go through and I do the average finish for each channel through 2 years in this league's history. And Thomas and I wipe the floor with y'all.
Avery's doing some heavy lifting over there.
I got the team on my back, baby.
Yeah, you're talking that thing, man.
I just want to raise awareness, because accountability is important. It's important to be transparent with the viewers, and we make fantasy football content. And so how has everybody performed? For the people who've been in the league for 2 years now, not including the fan, not including Nick, how have they performed in terms of making the playoffs? I mean, you're a fantasy football content creator, like, you should be making the playoffs. Well, here's the problem though. Here's the problem. See, right here you have the people who have made the playoffs both years. Me and Mason are the only creators in this league to make the playoffs both years. That's kind of sad. Thomas has made the playoffs both years. Mason's video editor.
The Dev team has made the playoffs 2 of 2 years. Now, those are the only teams that have made it both years. You've got Zach and Sal who have made it 1 year of the 2. Both of them were the 1 seed. It's all or nothing with Zach or Sal. It's like, I'm going to have the best team or my team's going to be the worst. Like, that's what it is with those guys. But then you have a set of 4 creators down here, 4 of them, who of the 2 years of the league have never made the playoffs. Nathan, Badake, Danny, and Corey never made the Flock League playoffs. They don't even know what it's like to be in a playoff game. You can make your own conclusions. I'm just showing you the data. You analyze the data. That's the data. I think it tells us a story.
So last year, the first year of the Flock League, there were 5 creators that missed out on the playoffs. And if you remember, in week 15, we had 4 of the 5 creators that were in a meaningful matchup. So any rational, reasonable, common sense person would assume that with 5 creators, yet again, for the second year in the Flock League, in the Toilet Bowl, we would have the same system. And that was the case until a couple hours ago. Mason decides to shake up the entire system for the Toilet Bowl over the next 3 weeks. Yeah, folks, we go from one individual, the person currently in dead last, the creator in dead last in the league, getting the single bye in week 15. There are now 3 creators getting a bye in week 15, and that includes Danny and I. Why does that matter? Well, last time I checked, changing rules in the middle of the season, hours before the game begins, is not common policy for a normal fantasy league. Last time I checked. Mason starts sending screenshots of a DM interaction he has with Zach. Zach and Mason and their DMs do not determine what the league rules are for the Toilet Bowl or the playoffs. Argument number 3 for Mason Dodd. Well, you shouldn't be 5-9. 7-7 is way better than 5-9. Guess what, Mason? 9-4 ain't nearly as good as 12-1. What are we doing? What type of agreement is this between everyone in the Flock League? So we're gonna do this the old school way. We are gonna petition this crap. To those of you who are on my side and Danny's side who are getting absolutely screwed in week 15, drop it in the comments of this video. How are rules actually established in this league? Because if they can be established with a DM conversation with another individual in this league when nobody else is made aware, then I think we could probably make some rule changes for the playoff bracket too. I'll send Avery some DMs, see if we can shake things up a little bit more and screw some people over.
Pitts touchdown. And Godwin is currently putting up a goose egg. So the fan wagon is spiraling. We need to pick this up here.
Thursday Night Football is great. It's just the best game of the week. Kyle Pitts, 2nd touchdown of the year. Where was this guy the first 4 years of his career?
It is halftime, and Kyle Pitts has 29 points.
It's the end of the first half and Kyle Pitts has 30 points. Kyle Pitts' legacy game. Thank you, Bush, for giving him to me. I drafted Kyle Pitts. I traded Kyle Pitts away to Bush like 10 weeks ago for 20 fab. I re-picked him up 2 weeks ago, and with Drake London out, he does this. My win percentage went from 43 going into tonight to now it's 63 at the half.
Kyle Pitts has never scored 29 points in his career. This is Kyle Pitts' most points he's ever had in a game in his entire career, and it is halftime. It is half. I don't think I can watch the rest of the game. Look, we survived 37 points from Michael Wilson last week. We've survived some big games, some big scores from players coming up against us, but 29 points at the half to start our Flock League playoffs. And it's Kyle Pitts. I'm speechless.
Man, it's gotta be Siberia in Sammy's house with the way he's wearing that hat inside. Gotta be cold in there. I feel for him. Canada. Kyle Pitts. It's taking him to the absolute freaking cleaners right now. And honestly, this is what you get, Sammy. You know, if you had a pair, if you had even the tiniest nuts, you would have picked one of me or the dev team and shown that you were actually a good team in this league. But you took the easy way out. You took the bye week, and it's Thomas. This is exactly what you get, man. Don't chicken out of stuff like this. Kyle Pitts, that's brutal. That is absolutely brutal.
Oh my gosh, to the losers and haters that thought Thomas from Flock Fantasy was going to get bounced to a fan in round 1 of the playoffs. It's the playoffs. Do you know nothing about us? We are here to win. You're acting like Kyle Pitts isn't going to end with 50 points this game. Get real.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This better stand. This better stand. This better stand. Yes! Oh. The Pitts' 3rd touchdown. That's rolling stuck. Kyle Pitts. Oh my gosh, buddy. What is that score up to? Kyle Pitts has scored 43 points. Okay, here's what Sammy has to learn. I know that everybody wants the fan in this league for next year. And what did I tell the fan at the very beginning? I told the fan, if you want to be in this league in 2026, you have to win it. And how does he decide to go about that? If I were him, I would say, well, clearly the toughest path to a championship is having to play anybody from the Flock Fantasy Squad. Whether that's Mason, whether that's Thomas, clearly, Thomas is a formidable opponent. He's edited every single one of Mason's videos this year, which means he's watched every single one of Mason's videos this year. So he's probably the 2nd best fantasy player on this planet. You were going to have to go through one of us, but you chose to possibly try to go through both of us? You thought you could beat Thomas and then possibly me in the next round? Have you lost your mind? I just want to say to everybody here, when y'all are going to cry in the comment section that you never see Sammy Stacks in another video ever again, it's his own damn fault. Don't come to me for it, because he's the one who tried to go up against Thomas.
Kyle Pitts just scored touchdown number 3. He has 43 points. And I know you guys have seen, there's been a lot of weeks this year where Thursday night, maybe it was a London game, maybe it was an overseas game, where the week isn't anywhere close to over yet. And one creator, whoever it is, comes on here, oh, congrats to my opponent for beating me this week, and it's not anywhere close to done. The early GGs is a big pet peeve of mine, and you're not going to get that from me. It's not over. Like I said, I survived 37 points from Michael Wilson last week. We can survive 43 points from Kyle Pitts. Some might call it delusion. I call it belief. Never count the fan wagon out.
So I would just like to make a formal apology to one Samuel L. Stacks. When you lose by 0.92 points out of your playoff spot, you go over scenarios in your head. How could I have gotten in? What's the easiest path? Well, the biggest one for me was not dropping Kyle Pitts, because not only did I drop him, Thomas picked him up, and I'm sure Sammy's feeling the run to that tonight. 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards. I want to formally apologize to Sammy. This is brutal.
Not gonna lie, it's not the most exciting thing in the world seeing Bijan Robinson for Corey go out there and drop 30 points. We're gonna be completely honest. Y'all know I was hoping that Corey would lose this league again. Sadly, looks like he's gonna beat Badake, be safe, and no longer have to be at threat to be in the Denny's.
So it's no secret I had a rough week. But in the first round of the toilet bowl, I get Badake. He's, in my opinion, the real team of destiny, because he came back from an 0-6 hole down to 7-7, narrowly, both of us making the playoffs. And we faced off the first matchup of the toilet bowl. And I just want to apologize formally for the 30 bomb that Bijan Robinson is dropping on Badake's head top. But you know what? I don't want to go to Denny's. I don't want to be the loser again of this league. So we're going to just quick get in, get out of this first matchup, hopefully with a win. We're not going to jinx anything, because of course we know what happens when you celebrate too early, but off to a great start.
So Chris Godwin was pretty good for Sammy. He got a touchdown and 14 points, but it wasn't 45 like Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts just outscored the tight end position for me for the entire year combined. I can't believe it. I'm feeling so good going into the weekend.